In this video, we're going to go over some quick history of the islands, cover wildlife you might encounter, dolphins, sharks, and some very unlikely players, a renowned restaurant followed by a revered dessert shop, and then we will end with a bar on a tiny island that has over $70,000 of cash hanging from their ceilings and walls. Okay, I'll shut up now. Let's do this. This trip and its video is a tad bit more special, and special in a heartbreaking sort of way. We came here, fell in love with the islands, and just a few months later, the islands got annihilated by the hurricane.
Wind continues to ramp up, but we're gonna get smashed here. 155 miles per hour winds, 18-foot waves, epic destruction.
More than 1 million Floridians have no power right now.
As I shuffled through the news channel clippings, familiar places looked completely unrecognizable. I mean, it's an optimistic kind of grief because I know they will build again and they will build better, but it'll just be different and not how it was. You feel me? Sanibel and Captiva Islands were formed by rising sea levels that separated them from the mainland a few thousand years ago. It has continually been shaped by centuries of current and storm activity. No surprises here given the recent tragic events. The island's wildlife really is in abundance, which remains one of our most memorable parts about this trip. There is so much for you to take in, and when you arrive, it won't be long before you spot some of the creatures that the island is famous for. The Sanibel Captiva area plays host to the 6,400-acre Ding Darling Wildlife Refuge, which immensely helps create an ecosystem where the wildlife thrives. Things we saw in our short time there. I'll start off with a baby shark, so that means there are probably adult sharks in there too. Bottlenose dolphins in the wild that may even come say hello. Manatees, variety of crabs including the horseshoe crab, which is a living fossil that goes back over 450 million years. Insane. Marsh rabbits, which do swim by the way, crazy. Lizards, fox, turtles, and raccoons. Other beauties you might encounter are bobcats, Sanibel Island rice rat, coyotes, armadillos, river otters, alligators, snakes. Of course, there are others, but we felt super fulfilled by our encounters. I mean, it was out of this world, seriously. And in such a short amount of time. After a little bit of research and finally finding a restaurant that aligned with our terrible late night dining habits, we came across the Green Flash. All right, we came to a restaurant called the Green Flash. Apparently that's something that you see in the sky here in this area on certain days. But there are some lights that are shining. Guess what color they are? Not only was this place a culinary delight, but it's also a historical piece of land. Purchased in 1994 from the Wilds family, the Green Flash was built on the site of the historic Timmy's Nook. In 1950, T.M. Wilds, henceforth known as Timmy, opened the local watering hole. The Nook, as it was called back then, was a renowned gathering place frequented by natives and tourists alike. It's considered part of the heritage of Captiva Island. It's situated on the waters of the Roosevelt Channel and overlooks the intracoastal waterway, the tranquil waters of Pine Island Sound, and the pristine beauty of Buck Key. During our journey, we came across a local that said we couldn't leave the island without trying the orange crunch cake at Boops by the Bubble Room. Yes, Boops with a P for Paul. The Bubble Room is already an island favorite and a renowned full-service restaurant, but it's celebrated for its amazing desserts. So they designated a separate shiny yellow building just for the desserts. It was packed the day we went. We made sure to try the orange crunch cake, and look, I'm no dessert connoisseur and might sound blasphemous here, sorry cake lovers, but it was all right. Still a good visit for ice cream, and the coffee was way better than my resort coffee. Expect a line and try their famous cake, the other one, called the Jamaican rum cake. One excursion we did take was a quick trip out to Cabbage Key. We bought the tickets online with Captiva Cruises and drove less than about 5 minutes from South Seas Resort to the cruise's dock. The half-day charter boat tour took us to Cabbage Key and Cayo Costa, two islands only accessible by boat or seaplane. Our tour was about $45 a person, and I would recommend this trip to everybody. The boat is spacious and the ride shows the gorgeous coastline of this whole area and many of the undeveloped islands with expert narration about the ecology and history from the guide. There's also a bar on the boat, just saying. Cabbage Key is 100 acres of straight-up paradise. It is owned and run by the Wells family, and they've preserved the historic structures like the water tower and kept most of the island undeveloped. You can walk along the trails, snakes and alligator sightings are possible, FYI, and even rent the few rustic cabins out there. But most people motor in, dock, and head straight to the Cabbage Key restaurant and the famous dollar bill bar. Food items they're famous for are the smoked mullet, fish dip, stone crab claws, blackened mahi-mahi, and of course, the Cabbage Key hamburger, cooked medium only. Reportedly made famous when Jimmy Buffett had it with cheese and then wrote a song about it. The song's name? Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
The dollar bill bar, well, no guesses here, has dollar bills with names and dates that cover walls and columns and are taped inches thick and hang like spider webs from the ceiling of the bar and restaurant. It's said to hold over $70,000. All fallen bills are donated to charity, which is approximately $10,000 a year. And lastly, I am going to say the service we received at the restaurant was exceptional and made our time on this tiny little island even more memorable. Oh, and thank you for being here. You could be anywhere, but you're here right now, and I am truly grateful. So please do subscribe for more travel-related content to add to your bucket list. And as usual, my parting thoughts after visiting Captiva Island. Look, there are so many popular international destinations in this vicinity where I somehow always seem to end up. There's the Bahamas, then there is Mexico. But I won't lie, I felt a slight sense of guilt after coming here for not exploring my own backyard as I should. Because my country, the United States of America, is not only ginormous, but absolutely gorgeous, filled with unlimited gems, just like this one. So, until next time, with a new destination, ciao. Keep exploring and keep creating.